Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you can hear me, you can type yes on the screen. Type yes on the screen if you can hear me. Welcome to this class. We are going to have lecture on Android and mobile operating system. Mobile operating system rather. Android and iOS mobile operating system. So you are able to hear me. Please type yes into the chat. Chat me and type yes into the chat to know that you are hearing me. Type yes if you can hear me. Please forward the link to this class to all students groups so that they can join the CISCO class. I can see you, Toby Babalola. You are saying yes, you can hear me. Please send the link to the live class to all student groups. Please do so. Send it to your WhatsApp groups, your class WhatsApp group, so that everybody can be reminded and join. So we are going to discuss about mobile operating systems. Then that is chapter 12. Then after chapter 12, we are going to move on to chapter 13. We may not be able to finish chapter 13, but we may be able to start chapter 13, so that the remaining part of chapter 13 and the last chapter 14 will be discussed in class when we meet physically. So thank you for joining us. If you can hear me, just type yes. If you can hear me, just type yes. So I can see you people joining. Now, the two chapters we want to discuss are mobile operating systems, and the second one is security. That is computer, internet security, computer network and internet security. That's the last part. So for the first part, let's start. I can see 7 of you connected. Please give us a like. Click the like button on this class. Like the class. Give us a thumbs up. Okay? And you can now pay attention. If you can hear me, just type yes. I know that you can hear me. Just type yes. So Android and iOS. We want to discuss about Android and iOS operating system. We want to know that Android is open source and iOS is closed source. Like desktop and laptops, mobile devices use operating systems. They have hardware that we are holding in our hand, and those that we cannot even see that are inside the device, and they also run on software called operating systems. So they have OS that they are running before they can work. Now, before users can analyze and modify a software, they must be able to see the source code. So when a developer chooses to provide the source code of a software that is running on a device, then we say that device is working on open source. It's working on open source. But if the developer does not release the source code, that is the code that they wrote to form the program, then we say the device is running on closed source. So Android is developed by Google, which is open source. iOS is developed by Apple company, and that is closed source. Now let's look at the applications and content sources. Application and content sources. Apps, that is application program, they are written to and compiled for specific mobile operating system. The one for iOS work for iOS, the one for Android work for Android, the one for Windows Phone work for Windows Phone. So the half for one cannot work for the other because they are developed specifically for each particular device. So please remind your friends to join this class. Remind your friends to join this class. Class is already live. Class is live, so remind them to join. Let them join. Join us here now. Join us now. I am typing that to the group now so that you can also forward it to them. Class is live. Let them click the link and join. Alright, like I said, apps are developed for different operating systems. iOS differently, Android differently, Windows differently. Now, mobile devices come with a number of different apps that have been pre-installed for basic functionality. And there are apps to make phone calls, there are apps to receive email, listen to music, take pictures, play video games. All of them are different apps that have been developed for the mobile device to operate. Now, instead of being installed from an optical disc, Apps are downloaded from a content source. For example, if you are using Android, you download your apps and install from Google Play Store. If you are using iOS, we have a App Store for iOS. Now, your tablet or smartphone is connected to the system via USB or Bluetooth to enable what is known as Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. So you can connect your tablet or smartphone through USB or Bluetooth to the system to link, the devices together. All right. Then application contents, application and contents. Apple and iOS are available from purchase from the App Store. Apple iOS apps available from App Store. And then Apple uses a walled garden model for their apps. That means that apps must be submitted to and approved by Apple before they are released to users. That is the way they do their own. Walled garden. That is, Apple must approve the app before they are released to user. And that helps to prevent spread of malware and malicious code. It helps to prevent viruses, what we call viruses, from attacking iOS devices. Then Android apps are free, mostly free on Google Play and some third-party sites such as Amazon App Store. And then Android apps run in a sandbox and have only privileges enabled by the user. They run on sandbox, so they are not restricted like the iOS. Then third-party or custom programs are installed directly using an Android application package. Android application package. That is called APK. APK. That's what you use to install Android apps into Android phone. And that gives users the ability to directly install apps without going through the storefront, the interface. And that is known as a side loading. Side loading. Okay. Now, when we look at the home screen, we can see Android interface. If you open your phone, you see the home screen. That screen, the first screen you see is called home screen. Other screen can be seen if you slide the screen, the home screen. Then we have navigation icons. We have Android navigation icons used by Android OS. We have the back button, home button, recent apps, menu. Those are the what we have at the system bar below the device. Then we have a notification and system icons. Android device has an area that contains system icons such as the clock, battery status, status for Wi-Fi, provider networks, and so on. Apps such as email app, text messaging, and Facebook, they are often displayed status icon to indicate communication activity. To open the notification area on Android devices, you will have to swipe down from the top of the screen. You will see notification. If you swipe down, you will see the notification. And then even some of these devices, they divide the notification into sections, maybe 2 sections. All right. You can respond to a notification by touching it. You can dismiss a notification. You can dismiss all the notifications. You can toggle often used settings. You can adjust brightness of the screen from the notification shortcuts. You can open settings menu, like a quick opening also. Then iOS home screen. The iOS home screen is almost the same way as that of Android, but there are some little important differences. The navigation icon. There's a physical button that you have to press instead of touching navigation icons. There's a physical button below the iPhone device. There is no widget. Only apps and other content can be installed on iOS device screens. There's no app shortcuts. Each app on the home screen is the actual app and not a shortcut. There's no shortcut to apps. Then home button, unlike in Android, iOS devices do not use navigation icons to perform functions. So some functions that are performed by the home button include wake the device, return to the home screen, start Siri, or voice control. You use a home button on a iOS device. Please don't forget to like and share this video. Share the link to your groups. Remind them to join us because I see that those that were initially connected are now disconnected. We have only about 3 people left, probably due to bad network, poor network at their area. But right now, I will still continue the lecture. And then for those of you that are connected, please remember to remind your friends, remind them and share the link to them, send to their groups so that they can join us. All right, there is iOS Notification Center, there is commonly used settings, there is iOS Spotlight. All right, then screen orientation. You can change screen orientation. You can have a portrait orientation like this, or landscape like this. You can see my phone now as I'm holding it. This is landscape and this is portrait. You can change the orientation. There's a sensor on the device that is called an accelerometer, and that is what is detecting the way you hold your device. And then when it's detected that you are turning your device, it can change the orientation for you. Then there is also what we call a gyroscope in some devices. Okay, gyroscopes provide more accurate movement readings when you are rotating your device. Gyroscope monitor it more than the accelerometer. Gyroscope allow to be a device to be used as a control mechanism for driving games when the device itself acts as a steering wheel. So you can be using your device as a steering wheel while the gyroscope is now driving the game for you. That is what is inside the devices. Then Android screen auto rotation setting. When you turn on authorization, once you rotate your phone, then it changes the screen orientation for you. To do that, you can go to settings, display, advanced, then auto rotate screen, or you can locate that from the shortcuts on the home screen. iOS also, to do that, to enable automatic rotation, you swipe from the bottom of the screen and tap the lock icon. When you tap the lock icon, then you'll be able to see auto rotation feature. Then we have screen calibration. Screen calibration means you want to adjust the screen brightness, whether it is too high or too low. When there's bright sunlight that makes it difficult to read the screen, then you have to increase the brightness level. But when there is low brightness, when the weather is dark or you are at night, you can reduce the darkness. Now, very low brightness is helpful when you are reading a book or when you are on a mobile device at night. This is mistakes that most Android and iOS smartphone users make. Some people during the day, even when they are outside, they put the screen on dark. You reduce the brightness of the screen. That is not fine. It's not fine for your eyes. During bright sunlight, when the day is bright, you increase the brightness. But when you are in the dark, you reduce the brightness of the screen. That is the way to enjoy the device. So to locate Android's brightness menu, you can configure screen brightness. Go to setting, display, and brightness, and slide to the brightness level that you want. For iOS, you can configure screen brightness by swiping from the very bottom of the screen, then slide the brightness bar up or down to vary the brightness. Then we have GPS. That's another mobile feature that we want to discuss. GPS is Global Positioning System. And that's a navigation system that determines the time and geographical location where the device is being used. And this is monitored from satellites in space and a receiver on Earth. So a GPS radio receiver is uses at least 4 satellites to calculate its position based on the messages. And GPS services allow app vendors and websites to know the location of a device and offer location-specific services, and that is called geo-tracking. When they use GPS to locate your phone that you are using their app, then they can provide services that match your location for you. That is geo-tracking. Then we have an indoor positioning system, which determine whether the device location by triangulating its proximity to other radio signals such as Wi-Fi access points. That is indoor position system, IPS. Can also help to locate where your device is through the service provider signals around you. Then we have Android location services. To enable GPS on Android devices, you can go to setting, location, then tap on the toggle to turn on location services. For iOS, you can go to GPS by go to setting, privacy, location services, then turn location services on. Okay, I hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, please type yes on the screen. You can see those of you connected here, you can type yes so that I can know that you can still hear me. You can type yes. Now, in the use of mobile devices, we can also talk about Wi-Fi calling. You can use Wi-Fi to call. Instead of using your normal cellular network to call, you can use a smartphone using a Wi-Fi signal to make voice call. You can take advantage of a Wi-Fi or hotspot of someone and then use it to call. And then, if there is no Wi-Fi hotspot within reach, then you can use your cellular network to call. Now, Wi-Fi calling is very useful when we have a poor cellular coverage. For instance, many times when I want to make call on my device and the network is playing very stupid, very stubborn, not fine, and we cannot hear ourselves, I will quickly use my WhatsApp call. I use WhatsApp call, and that is a Wi-Fi calling. And then in that case, the call will go instantly and will be clearer than even the cellular call. And also, when you are far away from the person you want to call, for instance, those that are abroad, more often than not, we don't use our normal recharge, normal airtime to call those ones. We use their WhatsApp call or probably Telegram or Facebook call and so on and so forth. That is a Wi-Fi calling. Now, to do Wi-Fi calling, your Wi-Fi hotspot must give you at least 1 megabyte per second internet to receive a very good to have a very good Wi-Fi calling. 1 megabyte per second, bear in mind. Now, for Wi-Fi calling on Android, to do that, you can go to Android setting, then go to More under Wireless and Network section, then Wi-Fi calling. Tap on the toggle to turn it on. You can use that Wi-Fi calling. For iOS, you can enable that by going to Settings, then Phone, and then turn on Wi-Fi calling. And those are various ways by which you can use your smart devices, whether Android or iOS. Okay. Now, we want to talk about NFC payments. Mobile payments refer to any payments made through a mobile phone. So nowadays, most people pay online through their mobile devices. We have premium SMS-based transaction payments, whereby SMS message is sent to a carrier through a special phone number that contain a payment request. Then we have direct mobile billing, and that one uses a mobile billing option during checkout, and the user identify their self through two-factor authentication and allow the charge to be added to the mobile device bill. We also have mobile web payments. The consumer uses the web or dedicated apps to complete the transaction. We have contactless NFC, near-field communication, and with this method, when you are in a physical store, transactions can be made for services by waving the phone near the payment system. Just move your phone closer to the payment system, and then it connects to your phone and debits your accounts. Those are special uses of Android devices, the NFC payments. Okay. We have a virtual private network, VPN. A VPN that uses a public network to connect remote sites or users together. Use public network to connect users together. And many companies create their own VPN nowadays to accommodate the need of remote employees and distant offices. Now, when a VPN is established from a client to a server, the client accesses the network behind the server as if it was connected directly to that network. Now, because VPN protocols allow for data encryption, the communication between client and server is secured. Now, configuring a VPN connection in your Android, you can go to Android settings, then More, then under Wireless and Network section. That is where you see More. Then you go to VPN, tap on the plus sign to add a VPN connection. For iOS, you can go to Settings, General, then VPN, and then add VPN configuration. All right. virtual assistants. That is what we call virtual assistants. Usually software developer assistants. On your Android phone, you have Google Now. To access Google Now on Android device, just say okay Google, and Google Now will activate and start listening to your requests. And then iOS, we have Siri. You know Siri. To access Siri on an Android device, iOS device, you press and hold the home button, and then Siri will activate and start listening to requests. So you can be talking to it now, asking the virtual assistants to help you do things. For instance, my Google virtual assistant, sometimes I want to search for something online. Instead of typing it, I will just talk to it. Get me the distance between Ibadan to Lagos, for instance. Once you speak to it, because you have activated it before anyway, once you speak to it, it will capture your voice and turn it to text and search it for you on Google, and it brings the results. So you can be requesting things from your Google assistants like that, like Siri also in iOS. Now, we want to talk about securing mobile devices, methods for securing mobile devices. There are various methods. One, PIN. Another one, password. Another one, pattern. Another one, passcode type. So those are ways by which you can secure our mobile devices. And we have to be careful. Nowadays, security is of importance. You don't leave your device unattended. You just open it without any PIN, no passcode, no pattern. It's not fine. It's not fine. But passcode such as PIN could be guessed if the person that holding it has enough time and perseverance. So to prevent such guessing of a passcode, the mobile devices, what they did to it is that you have a number of times that you can guess, that you can try it. So if you try 4 or 5 times, it tells you you have to retry in another 30 minutes or something. You have to retry another 30 minutes. So it has detected that you don't know the code, so you are trying to guess. And if you guess too much, you will get it. So that is why they did that into the program. So it prevents you from guessing too much. All right. Now, for instance, if you guess too much, like 4 to 12 times or so, Android devices will just lock itself. And so you cannot log in again. And then when the device is locked, you can only unlock it by using your Gmail account information that you use to set up the device. So it's a security system for your phone. For iOS, we have what you call iOS erase data. If the passcode fails 10 times, then the screen goes black, and all data on the device is deleted. And that is serious. To restore the iOS device and data, then you use either the restore and backup option in iTunes or iCloud. So you must not use wrong passcode 10 times on iOS device. When that happens, the device will just go black, and then you can access it, and it deletes all the information on it. So to restore, you have to use iTunes or iCloud. Then we have what we call iOS GUI, iOS graphic user interface. On iOS, to increase security, the passcode is also used as part of the encryption key for the entire system. So that is another security for iOS GUI. Then we have what we call remote backup. A remote backup, if you use it, is a remote backup in which a device copies the data to cloud storage. So the data on your device is backup using the backup app into a remote location, so that in the future you can restore the data from there to your phone if your phone has problem, or perhaps you get a new device. Now most mobile operating systems nowadays have a user account that is linked to the vendor's cloud services, such as iCloud or iOS for iOS and Google Sync for Android. And from that Google Sync, once you are registered there with you register your device, you synchronize what you are doing on your device. If you buy another device, maybe new device, as you are putting the email there, once it sees the email, it links it to their cloud, and you sync whatever you have in your cloud that you have stored before for your Android system, and then they link it to your phone and download it. For instance, your phone contacts. Nowadays, we don't store phone contacts on phone any longer, or any SIM card or whatever, or SIM whatever. We store it on the cloud, so that when you lose your device go bad, immediately you get another one. You use the same email you use for the previous one To open this new one, it downloads all those information back for you, including your phone contacts. Alright? So another option is to configure mobile device management (MDM) software to automatically back up user devices. There are also third-party providers such as Dropbox that can be used to do a backup for your smart device, mobile device. Then we have a locator application. When your phone is misplaced or stolen, it is possible to find it using locator app, and that is what people do nowadays. When somebody steal your phone, then you should not just go like that. And very expensive phone, you don't allow you to go like that. Wherever they are taking it to, it can be located using special apps. It can be located. Once you know some data of your device, such as the IME number and probably some other numbers saved to the device from factory, you can use it to locate the device. That is what people do nowadays. I can remember my brother, somebody came to their house and then one way or the other from the window picked my brother's phone from their sitting room. So immediately that happened, my brother said he's going to track it. And after like 1 week or so, as he was preparing to go and track it, the owner, I thought probably the owner got to understand that, I mean the thief got to understand that the owner is about to go and track it. And by himself, he came to return the phone. Because he knew that wherever he sell it, or he's using it, the police, they will track it and they will get it. It's very easy nowadays. Only that you spend money, give police money. They have a department that takes care of that. So if you can pay them, they will locate your device for you. They will get the person arrested. They will get the person arrested. That is it. So we have a locator applications like that for iOS and Android also. Now after the device is located, you can even use some other free apps to locate your device, which may be able to tell you where the thief that stole your phone is. So you might be able to also perform additional functions such as sending a message or playing a sound on that phone so that the thief will know that the owner knows where the phone is. You can do some other things like that using all these locator apps. Then we have remote lock and remote wipe. For iOS, we have what we call remote lock. So when the phone is lost, you can do a remote lock. For Android, it's called remote lock. For iOS, it's called lost mode. Lost mode. It allows you to lock the device when a passcode with a passcode so that others cannot gain access to the data in the device. So when they steal it, you just do the remote lock. You lock it. They cannot open it. Even when they take it anywhere, they are selling it, they are doing whatever, they cannot open. They will not be able to open it. And you'll be able to track it and get your device back before they even touch anything. They cannot even touch anything inside it. The remote lock will lock it. Then remote wipe, it will erase the phone, everything inside it. So for iOS, it's called erase phone, and for Android, it's called erase. So you can do remote wipe feature to delete all data from your device and return it to a factory state. Even when the thief is holding it, the thief may be trying to search your device, looking for your email, your contact phone numbers, looking for your bank account details and so on. So mobile devices have become so advanced, you can wipe it so that it cannot even see anything. Even if you are not going to track it, you can wipe everything clear and then they will not see it again. Alright, so far we have taken like half of this chapter, and I want to assume that we have taken this chapter. So now I will talk briefly on software security, and that is about antivirus. After that, I will stop this class because I can see that nobody else is connected. The last person has been disconnected, and we spent only 30 minutes. We still have about 30 minutes to spend, but so far they are not connected any longer. I'm going to stop very soon. So let's look at antivirus. Smartphone and other mobile devices are vulnerable to malicious software. So depending on the permissions granted to antivirus apps when they are installed on an Android device, the app might not be able to scan files automatically or run scheduled scans. For iOS, it does not allow automatic or scheduled scans. And this is a safety feature, okay, to prevent malicious programs from using unauthorized resources or contaminating other apps or the operating system. Then we also have mobile device apps that run in a sandbox A sandbox is a location of the operating system that keeps code isolated from other resources and other code. So they call it sandbox. So apps, they can run inside that sandbox without linking other resources of the device. And it is difficult for malicious program to infect a mobile device because apps are run inside the sandbox. That is the essence of the sandbox. It will not allow viruses to go and affect the main operation of the phone. So apps can be affected in their home where they are running in the sandbox, but not affect the entire device. And then to prevent the malicious program from infecting additional devices, a firewall can also be used. That's another security. That's another software security. A firewall can be used. Now, we have software security, further information on software security. We have routing and jailbreaking. Routing and jailbreaking. You talk about routing when you are dealing with Android phones, and you talk about jailbreaking when you are dealing with iOS device. So mobile operating systems are usually protected by a number of software restrictions. And an unmodified copy of the iOS, for example, we only execute authorized code and allow very limited user access to its file system. It's a security way to secure the device so that you cannot tamper with it and spoil it or even infect it with dangerous programs. Now, routing and jailbreaking are the methods for removing these restrictions and protecting added mobile operating and protection that have been given to the operating system, to the mobile operating system. So when you root an Android phone, that means this restriction that they place there, you have opened it. So the user can now be tampering, with the base, software, be tampering, doing things there that are not supposed to be done before. So you get privilege, the user will gain privilege to the root access. Then you can modify the code, install software that is not intended for the device, and so on and so forth. And the jailbreaking is typically used on iOS devices, to remove manufacturer restrictions, allowing them to run arbitrary user code, grant user full access to the file system, and full access to kernel modules. There are so many file systems that you cannot touch, you cannot gain access to on your mobile devices because they have been sealed. But for you to expose them and have access, you have to carry out what we call routing and jailbreaking. And this is carried out by special programs, special software. Now, by routing or jailbreaking a mobile device, and then the GUI can be heavily customized. You can modify it, can modify the OS, improve the speed and responsiveness of the device. The setting that they sell from the factory, you can change it, you can increase the speed, and then apps can be installed from the secondary and unsupported sources. Unsupported sources that normally your device will not install them. If you jailbreak or you root your device, you can actually install them. So that is a routing and jailbreaking. This is carried out by special software, and when you do that, you will void the warranty for your device. You void it because you are not meant to do that. Once you do it, you avoid the warranty of your device. Then we have patching and updating of operating systems. Patching and updating of operating system. You patch operating system like a desktop or laptop. What we mean is that updates are released to help you to make the device work better. So when they are released, they can be patches or updates. So you need to add them to the device, and you check your device where the settings. Go to the settings and check the update section. If there's anything released, you will see it there, then you'll be able to install it. Now, there are two forms of updates for mobile devices, radio firmware. One is preferred roaming list, as a configuration information that a cellular phone needs to communicate on networks. And there's another one, the primary rate ISDN, that configures the data rates between the device and the cell tower. And that ensures that the device is able to communicate with the tower at the correct date. Android updates and patches use automated process for delivery. So when a carrier or manufacturer has an update for a device, there will be a notification on your device. So when you check, you see that update is ready and you should install it. Then for iOS, updates are also use an automated process for delivery, similar to that of Android. And a notice to download opens if the update is available. So these are the ways we can update our device. And when you update your device, you realize that your device come back as a new device. It will be so new, it will be in operation, it will be so clean, so fast, as if you just purchased the device, because it will refresh all your operating system. Any bad files will be removed and new ones will be installed in place of them, and so on and so forth. So far, so good. I'm going to stop here for today. We've done more than half of this chapter. And in the physical class, we are going to make a conclusion briefly on this chapter and go to security. That is chapter 12. And do not forget to like and share the video. Let others also see the video and enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Until another time, I say bye-bye. Bye. So I'm going to disconnect now for the only person that remains. Since we don't have plenty people, I'm stopping it here for today. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.